Listen up. You're tuning into the Entertainer Hotline podcast.
We keep it turned up.
With your host, Dbeatzz.
Okay.
Talk to him.
We got the money, I grow. We are tell them straight. I feel have the money in a me pocket. I'm more girl to the thing, them know how me like it. When man I touch the street fresh, every girl love it. 8 as a 8 and the 9, yeah, me nah left it. Yeah, I feel have the money in a me pocket. I'm more girl to the thing, them know how me like it. When man I touch the street fresh, every girl love it.
Boom. Welcome to another mad episode of the Entertainer Hotline, where we go from the grind to the glory. And I am your host, Dbeatzz, and today we have a special guest, which is also a part of a Grammy. A DJ, producer, none other than the man himself. EchoSlim is in the building. EchoSlim, big up yourself, brother. How you doing, man? Welcome to the Entertainer Hotline.
Respect, Dbeatzz. Respect, man. Everything's good, man. You already know, man. You know, you always put in the work, so we always gotta support, you know. So I respect you as a man that always reinvents himself, and it's a lesson that I can learn from. Whereas, like, you know, if Dbeatzz doing this, you know, something, he's onto something. So, you know, why can't I do it? You know, so respect the Dbeatzz here. You inspire a lot of people, man. So give thanks for wanting to interview me. True. Yeah, you don't know, man.
Yeah, man. You already know what it is already, man. Yeah. You already know, you know, bro.
For real.
So EchoSlim.
Yes, sir.
Bless up. Respect. Yo, and listen, first off, let's start off from growing up in Miami. How did that melting pot of culture influence your sound?
Oh, it was great, you know, because I actually had moved from Canada early, you know? So I moved to Miami in my teenage years, and then I was just exposed to a totally different sound, right? Because, you know, I'd never heard of, like, Uncle Luke and, like all this kind of booty music and, you know, Miami bass and stuff like that, right? So being exposed to that while being exposed to the dancehall at the same time and East Coast hip hop really helped shape the sound of music that I produce and music that I like to DJ. So it was nice, man.
Okay, cool. Did you have a musical mentor, or were you self-taught when it come to producing and DJing?
I would say I had some people, some family and some friends that were influenced and helped me get into it. So I got to big up my cousins, you know, they were DJs already and they played on a sound system. But obviously I had to take it to another level within myself. So I taught myself a lot of things after learning. And they taught me the fundamentals and the foundation. And then from then I just put in the work, you know? So yeah, you could say I had a mentor. But I'm self-taught with a lot of things, even with production. As I got into producing, I had to learn from other people and watching them, and then I'd focus on it myself, you know?
Okay. You have built a sonic identity that feels warm, layered, and deeply rooted in the culture. How would you describe that EchoSlim sound?
Man, I like the way you said that. I never heard that before, you know, so big up DB. Yeah, DB's doing his research. Boy, you know, the sound is definitely influenced by my Caribbean background. Obviously, drums. So the ancestors with the African drums has always played a part in my production. Dancehall for sure, reggae, calypso, soca, and hip hop. You know, so it's a combination of all those things and the other genres I listen to. But just being around the culture in so many different ways, whether it's, you know, going to Kingston, going to Uptown Mondays, or going to, you know, Weddy Weddy, or if you're going to Trinidad, going for Carnival, right? It's a combination of all those things, right? So I give thanks for being inspired and being born into the culture, you know?
Okay. You have toured the world with some of the greatest artists in the game. Tell us some of the artists that you have toured with, and what was the experience like?
Man, so I was a part of this group to start off called Black Violin. So I was DJing before, and I was, you know, when I was DJing on South Beach, you know, it ain't nothing to be DJing for like LL Cool J or a Jay-Z party or a Neptune's party, you know what I mean? But when I toured with Black Violin, that's when, you know, we were around the world doing big festivals. So You know, obviously Beyonce, Jay-Z again, Linkin Park, Aerosmith, you know, the Eagles, some of those old time rock groups, and you know, the Lil Waynes, the Kanye Wests, and you know, just pretty much every artist you can think of. I've either opened up for them or shared a stage with them. So I give thanks for that, man. It's a beautiful feeling to work with the people that I used to buy their CDs or I bought their albums or I looked up to, you know?
True.
Mm-hmm.
And also, you know, you have often blend Caribbean, hip-hop, soul, and Afro vibes in your beats.
Definitely.
Was that intentionally, or did you just naturally just do it?
It's interesting, you know, because it's almost like you want to have intention to show the culture and display the culture to the world, but it happens naturally when you do it. And sometimes it's not even a second thought. I just do it, you know what I mean? So in some cases, it's just natural. I just feel like that's just part of me. I always try to work in, you know, a drum package, a dancehall drum package or a soca drum package, depending on the tempo. And if it can work, I'm like, all right, cool. If it don't work, then all right, we'll just try something else. But I always at least give it an attempt if it makes sense. But it happens naturally more time. I ain't gonna lie, it does.
Okay. And being that you said that, have you ever started a session with a genre in mind, only for it to evolve into something completely different?
Bro, I swear that's the story of my life. Every time I start with an idea, it turns into something different. And sometimes I wonder if I could just focus and create that one idea, but it always evolves into something else. And I give thanks for that because, you know, I always say, follow the music, don't lead the music. Because if you try to force the music in a direction, it might not sound as good as if the music wants to take you somewhere different. So I'm always open-minded when it comes to music and creating music.
Okay, cool. And now, I know say you're on the great Nico Rebel. Jesus.
Don, real Don. The Don of all Dons.
Nico Rebel was like, yo. DB said,
yo, I love
that's
Nico,
my bro, man. I know him. Listen, I know
life.
Nico Rebel for the longest, bro.
Me too.
And it's like it's just so good to know that it's just like from one family to another one. You know what I mean?
Yes.
We're all brothers in the business, bro. And
all
it's like
brothers.
I'm so happy, bro, to see.
Me too.
To see we just one family, bro, and things just evolve, and it's just nothing but greatness. You know what I mean?
Nothing but greatness.
So how did you and Nico Rebel link up?
Well, we met through a mutual friend. I was managing an artist at the time called Alexander Starr, a sick artist. Nico's done a few projects with him. And he brought me to the studio, Nico's studio. So it was the first time I came to Rebel Culture Studio. And once I met Nico, it was just vibes immediately, right? So, and we just kind of connected from then on. We'd always link up and meet up and work on music together. And we started getting a nice groove when we started producing and collaborating. And one of our first projects that we collaborated on, it got published on some major blogs. And it also got on some top FM radio stations. And we didn't put no marketing or no budget behind it. We just put it out there in the record pools. And next thing you know, we're finding out that it's getting spins on, you know, major radio stations. So that's why for all artists out there, like I always try to have an educational component. It's important when you register your music to definitely do the proper registration on all mediums. So we registered it with BDS and with MediaBase. So that's the two radio mediums that will help track your radio spins. So when I submitted it to MediaBase and we started seeing that it was on the request list on certain stations throughout America, we were like, yo, this is crazy. This is something that we made in the studio. We didn't put no, yeah.
Hold up.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Listen.
Yeah, man.
That was what me and Nico was talking about because, yo, honestly, bro, I'm the one, me and Nico is, as I said, we are like, we all brothers.
All brothers, yes.
But that's when I broke, because I learned that when I was around some big people in the business, bro. You know, I don't really, they know already, and I don't want to call their names because I don't run for the clout, bro.
No, we don't do
but
it.
they know who they are, bro, and they show me the business. You feel me?
Right.
And that's when I link up with Nico Rebel and show him, say, yo, bro, your ISRC code, this is how you have to do, this is how you have to do, bro.
Yeah,
yo. So that's where it all started and stuff, bro. And it's like, it's good. It's so good to know that the ideas and the input that we share together actually manifesting. You know what I mean?
Manifest. Yeah, I think a lot of us have the same ideas. It's really like it's in the universe, and it's whoever puts it out first or whoever capitalizes on the idea. Because while you were telling Nico that, I had a radio promo guy that was schooling me, and he used to work like Cash Money, No Limit. He used to work all the big accounts. He used to do the radio promo for Def Jam and all these places. So he was telling me to do that when I was managing Star, and we were submitting his music, and I was sending it to the mix show DJs, and trying to get it into rotation. So he was telling me that about the media base and the BDS. He put me onto that, and I have a DJ. I got a shout out to Dennis Blaze, the sick DJ from he's on radio in San Diego.
Listen, when they say Dennis Blaze, you know.
Yeah, man.
You remember that project with Cutty Ranks?
Yes, exactly. I was gonna get to that, you know. I was gonna get to that because it was that rhythm. We did the track first with that rhythm with the other artists, right? And that's the one that got on rotation and got some spins. So Nico came to me and told me, yo, my brother Dbeatzz said he can link up Katy. I was like, get out of here. Like, what? Katy, like real Katy, right? Just stop it. And I was like, yeah, man. I was like, yo, let's do it, man. I'm with it, man. That's my DJ, right? So I give thanks for that link, man, because when we got the song back and he was bigging us up, I was like, yo, this thing is real. Like, I was like so happy that I told Dennis, I was in Brooklyn. I was driving when I was living in New York, I was driving down Eastern Parkway when I got and I had to plug it in the aux because there was no Bluetooth in it, right? So I plugged it in the aux and I was like, yo, we have a Katy Ranks friggin' song. This is crazy, man. I got to big up Dbeatzz forever. Like, I'm always indebted to Dbeatzz just for that, because that's one of the legends I grew up listening to. Katy, Super Cat, Shaka Demon Suppliers, and a lot of them old time, DJs, and I give thanks for that, man. You made that was one of my bucket list items, so give thanks to Dbeatzz. I appreciate that,
Yo, you know what it is already, man. You already know, bro. That's what I'm saying, man. Bro. It's like, it's not it, bro. The greatest thing, as I say, for me, is to see all my brothers winning, bro.
Same here, bro. Trust me.
For real, Yeah, and speaking of that, let's talk Milestone now.
Okay.
Can we just start?
Yeah, man.
Now, a lot of producers dream of Grammy.
Right.
You actually got one.
Yo, it's so crazy.
Walk us through that moment when your work got Grammy recognition. Walk us through that.
It was interesting, right? Because a lot of times, like, and it's a lesson for a lot of people. Sometimes if you chase something down, you may not get it. It may run from you. And before then, I joined the Grammy Academy. And not to say not to do it. All the people out there, if you want to get involved and become a voting member, and you feel it's beneficial to you, feel free to do that. But there was a time I was running down the Grammy Academy. I joined. I got the membership. I was sending Black Violence music. I was sending my singles. I actually sent the Katy singles. I sent that too. I kept mailing stuff to them. You know what I mean? And nothing was catching. And so I kind of felt like, okay, I won't say disappointed, but I just felt like I'm spending all this money for their membership, and I'm not even getting any feedback or recognition. Not to say I need to be nominated or voted, but I was just kind of like, I was like, let me put the Grammys to the side for a minute. Let me focus on just the production. And that's when, we made the rhythm. Thankfully, it was a rhythm from my brethren Striker Lee, which his father, Bunny Striker Lee, one of the greatest producers in reggae history, a old-time producer. I worked with Bob Marley, Peter Tosh, Jacob Miller, Delroy Wilson, all the top artists from back in the day. He allowed me access to his catalog where I could sample and utilize his entire catalog. And one of those rhythms was the rhythm with Coffee that we sampled. And it was me, Nico, Sean Alaric, and Walshy Fire that put it together. Walshy was the plug to Coffee. And then when he got it to her, we didn't think nothing of it. We just felt like, okay, we'll see where it goes. She's not signed. We'll see how it goes. She's talented, but we didn't know where it would go. And then as time progressed, she got signed. she was getting more recognition. She did the show, obviously, Coco T, RIP did a great Coco T, had her on the show Rebel Salute. And then we saw the momentum and where it's led. And then obviously to Grammy night when she won. I mean, it was bittersweet because I was happy, but that's the same day that Kobe Bryant passed away, right? So I was kind of sad at the same time, but it was great to be recognized, and simply for the fact more so that I wasn't trying to chase the Grammy. I was just like, I didn't care. And the fact that Nico got it, I was so happy because Nico worked so hard and he's worked with so many artists. And I feel like he put in so much work. He was so worthy of it. And then Mr. Lee, Striker Lee, was still alive at the time. And for him to be the first Grammy award he won in his entire lifetime of amazing music, that's why I kind of like, me and the Grammys have like, I got, no disrespect, but I kind of have like a love-hate relationship with the Grammys. You know what I mean? But I was thankful to get the Grammy for those people because those are people I love. I love Nico, that's my brother, and I love Mr. Lee. He's my mentor. So I was thankful to get it for them more than anything. And big up Sean too. We got it for Sean. And then Walshy too. Walshy's a great guy, man. So
yes, man, Walshy and all of them, man. Yeah, man.
so thankful that they all got it, So yeah, man, I give thanks for that. It was a great day, it was.
Okay. Yeah. So how did winning that affect your mindset and your sound going forward in a good way, not a bad way? How did that?
Sound didn't change really, because that's one thing with the Grammys. I don't think the Grammys necessarily define who you are. A lot of artists feel like they need the Grammy to feel worthy, and I'm not mad at that because accolades. Some people love accolades, but a Grammy doesn't necessarily define who you are. You are who you are, and it's just a matter of getting to know yourself. So it didn't change my sound per se, but it just changed my outlook in terms of marketing and reaching out to certain people because, having that Grammy next to your name, it'll open doors that weren't open to you before. So certain emails and phone calls I made before that weren't getting answered and no pickup, now they're getting now. So it's kind of interesting, right, how that works. But such is life, right? So I give thanks to the Grammy for that. It's opened doors for me and that I probably wouldn't have been open before,
Okay. That's fire right there, bro. That's fire. And being the fact that the fire is blazing and so you're up on the Entertainer Hotline.
Right.
Guess what, you can't dip on the Entertainer Hotline that would shoot off some rapid fire, quick fire. But for you, a rapid fire because you have so much things in the making. So I'm just going to shoot some questions.
Let's go.
And you just choose. You ready?
Yeah, man.
Vinyl or digital?
Man, that's tough, man. But vinyl, I got my start, so I'll say vinyl. But digital is convenience, but vinyl. Overall, I'll say vinyl. Yeah.
Miami bass or reggae dub?
Ooh. Reggae dub. I love reggae dub. Can't lie.
Okay. Studio session or festival stage?
Jeez, that's a tough one, I'll say studio session because I can't get to the festival without the studio. Yeah.
Artists you would love to produce for but haven't yet?
Okay, multiple. Stevie Wonder, that's a legend. I'd love to work with him. I'm a big Stephen Marley fan. I ain't gonna lie. Big up Stephen Marley. We have some mutual acquaintances, and I met him a few times. Stephen and Damien Gong, they're sick. Man, there's so many, man. There's so many. Lauryn Hill's wicked. Love Lauryn Hill. Man.
Bro, listen.
There's a lot. There's a list.
Listen. That list alone, bro, if all of those, if even two of those ever manifest, bro, I guarantee you. So you have another Grammy again.
Well, they're gonna manifest. They're gonna manifest if they're on the show. They're gonna manifest, and when they do, I'm gonna make sure you're in the studio. I'm like, what? Yo, call Nico, call Dbeatzz. Let's go, bring him in the studio wherever we at, because he's the reason it happened, right? So
listen.
Yeah.
So all right, the final one. You go to late night food spot in Miami.
Oh boy. That's a tough one, man, because the way I eat, there's nothing there out for me late night. So normally, what's funny? Normally people come and check on me because I'm cooking late night. So more time when I'm working in the studio or doing some works, I'm chefing up late night. And then sometimes I'll give people a link like, yo, wait, you want to come through? Or they'll link me. You know what I mean? So I'm pretty much the chef when it comes to the late night thing, you know? So that's a tough one, yeah, because I don't really eat out much, you know?
So watch this now, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You're EchoSlim, the chef, so when you're not cooking up some beats, you're cooking up some food.
Don't know. Some healthy food, I'm vegan, you know? So I'll cook up some alkaline, some tasty, it's all tasty still though, you know? You have to have the flavor, but yeah, man, I'm normally cooking up either one way or another I'm cooking. One way or another.
You need to get a feature on the food channel.
Yo, I'm with it, man. I'm down, man. You already know, man. And you could, as long as you're doing the voiceover, so I'm with it. Let's go. You know what I'm saying?
All right. With that being said,
yes.
Next level.
Mm-hmm.
What upcoming projects should we be listening for? Any collaboration on the way, or artists that you're working with?
Yeah, man. There's so many projects. I don't know if you're still in the production, but I'm gonna need your help, man. If you want to get back in, there's so much work I'm doing, you know. So,
bro, listen to me, bro. Listen.
Just let me know.
Let me say this to you.
Yeah.
But no, it's a Krispy Kreme there, Miami.
Uh-huh.
Bro, just like when you're passing and you see that Krispy Kreme light blazing it's on.
I'm open.
Bro, you know that's fresh, hot donut in the oven.
Yeah.
That's how we cooking up, bro. I'm ready.
Love it.
Watch this, bro. You listen. If I hit my phone, yes, I'm gonna ring. It's like the musical Doughboy. Not the Phil Berry Doughboy. You just touch the phone and you just say, woohoo, and I'm ready. I'm ready, bro. I'm ready.
Yeah,
so you say you have a lot of projects on the way, bro. That's amazing, bro.
Big project. I feel like everything we worked hard for, like you yourself, Nico, myself, I feel like this is all coming together. It's just a matter of we have to connect the dots, right? We were all we needed. We had everything, you know, we had the resort, we had the network, we just had to connect it. So yeah, man, I have enough projects coming out. The main artist I'm working with right now, I got to big up Shabanique. This amazing artist I'm working with, singer, also can DJ too. She's real sick. I got to big up Hilla Bundum, my next artist from Brooklyn. Sick artist I'm working with, doing some works with. Got to big up Ijan, another artist. I like to work with a lot of young and upcoming talent, but I also, because I like to build talent. I like to, you know, try to help contribute to changing someone's life where they can financially help so many other people, right? Because if I can help one person, that person may be able to help 10 people or 100 people. So that's the way I look at it in terms of working with artists. But we also work with the legends too. You know, we're working. Obviously, you had linked up Katy, so I have some other legends as well that we're doing some work with. And you know, me and you are gonna link up at Rebel. We're gonna do some more work, man, because there's enough music. You know, there's enough music we have to put out, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, it's been so many years, and there's still so many years that need to hear our music.
Exactly.
You understand me?
Exactly. Yo, that was a big tune, you know. And, you know, if it got the proper marketing, come on, man. That tune is a big tune, you know, and we still can do it, you know? And
that's the reason why I come up with this platform, the Entertainer Hotline, because, bro, me knowing the feeling, what it feels like, as an upcoming, whether you're a producer, an artist, a DJ, and it no matter up and coming in the music industry, bro. I know, bro, there's some gatekeepers there, bro.
Jeez. You know
Listen,
what I mean?
So the Entertainer Hotline is like, I'm like a magician. May I take off the inches off of them gate there?
Yes.
So the gatekeeper them now gonna have no job. May I free up the place?
No, we're gonna fly. You have to fly. Yeah, you have to. You have to fly the gate, man. The gate has to go. Has to go.
Yeah, but you know so that's why I'm really pushing this to just create a platform for upcoming entertainers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Forget my chance, but them know so like, yo, bro, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? You have potential. Man. Yo, there's room for growth. You know what I mean?
And that's what I'm saying. We have the artists. You have your media. You know what I mean? We can create this ourselves instead of going to the old guard and always having to, you know, kiss the ring, or you know, do certain things just to get on. Like, nah, we're not doing that, man. We don't have to do that. You know what I mean? So we'll create it ourselves. That's where I look at it. I look at it like, yo, we can create it ourselves. You know what I mean? I don't need them. No disrespect, but I don't need, you know, no disrespect, but I don't need to do certain things to get on. You know, it's not happening. You know what I mean?
Okay, so, bro, I gotta ask you this question, man.
Yeah, man.
So what do you want your legacy to be? As a DJ, as a producer, and and also as a cultural contributor?
I want my legacy to be that you know, I helped as many people as I can. I went to places that most producers probably wouldn't have went, to find youths that are going through tough times or may not have the resources or are in lower socioeconomic communities, and they were able to make something of their lives and go in turn help their community, you know. And I just want to spread the music around the world, man. You know, it's our music is everywhere, you know, whether it's, you want to call it Caribbean, you want to call it dancehall, you want to call it reggae, soca, calypso, whatever. Everything from that small pocket in the Caribbean has influenced everywhere, has influenced continents and billions of people. And I just want to make my contributions to that in a positive way, right? Because I don't want to get caught up too much in the negative vibes of the music. It's all about spreading love with the music, and that's what I always was about. You know, certain messaging and topics, that's not for me. You know, I'll focus on what resonates with me, and I feel like resonates with others. You know, so yeah, man. The legacy is about helping others and spreading the culture in a positive manner. You know.
True. So we want to leave before we lock up. Before we want to tell the fans them, you know, like where they can find you and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can find me on the website EchoSlim.com. That's EchoSlim.com. All my socials, if you just put in the search engine, I'll pop up. It may be different usernames, but I'll pop up. But everything's on the website. You just go to EchoSlim.com. And yeah, man, you can find me. You can reach me through Dbeatzz too. All the producers or artists that want a link, link, go through Dbeatzz, man. Link him, man, and then we can do business. You know what I mean? Because it's a family thing. We don't go around others, man. We include everybody, man. So yeah, if you want to reach me, link Dbeatzz, man. You know what I mean? And we can work. You know. All
right. Well, that being said, EchoSlim, it's a straight up honor to have you on the Entertainer Hotline from Miami to the Grammy. Your journey is inspiring, and your sound is universal.
Thank you.
And also, you have heard it here first. This is the Entertainer Hotline podcast with Dbeatzz, and today we dialed in with a true master of the mix, EchoSlim. Remember, from the grind to the glory. Catch you next time. Boom.
Pop. Yeah, man. Great works, man. Great works, bro.